Tyson, you lead us on the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. As I stated, I'll open the meeting for January 21st, 2026, our regular scheduled board meeting. Item C, approval of agenda, public comment offered. We have one person for our public comment.
That's towards the end though, right, Annie? You want to speak at the end?
Correct. Okay, thank you. No one else for the finance? All right. Everybody had an opportunity to go through the agenda?
Yeah.
All right, anyone make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted? Motion to approve.
I'll second.
That was the first one I heard, John.
Okay.
Motion from John, seconded by Tyson to approve the agenda. Public comment offered as submitted. Discussions? Good job, John. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Number 2, administrative and board reports. Rockville Principal, Marissa. Good evening.
Hello. So today we celebrate the 100th day of school. Kindergarten was very excited. They had several different activities they had to deal with. The number 100, they all had custom made shirts on, so it was really cool to see. They were really excited. Some scores for you. We are finishing up our NWA testing for this round. I have a couple grades to brag on. Kindergarten, 83% of their students met or exceeded their projected goal from the fall to the winter in both math and reading. So we shoot for 80 or higher. We're at 83% right now. First grade, 80% of the students met or exceeded their math goal. Third grade, 100% of their students met their math goal and 84% in reading. So kindergarten, first grade, and third grade are off to a fantastic start for the second semester. We're working towards a wax museum that fifth grade is going to present. That's going to be open to the public. It's like a living museum. Fifth grade's continuing with Deer, third grade with Captain Cash. Girls basketball practice is underway, and our first game's on January 27th. So
I have a question for
you.
On those scores, which are always sound outstanding, 80% math scores, things like that, how do we rate in our area, and how do we rate in the state? Is there something that tells us our kids are rating in? Because I think that's a nice public announcement per se, where people can say, well, this school's really got higher test scores. They're really putting out good quality students.
Our first grade teacher, Ms. Hamill, came and she was very excited. All the kids were very excited. She was at the national growth level for reading, and then she surpassed the national average for math. I have to dig into the other grades, and then 4, 5, and 6 are finishing. It takes 24 hours for the scores to publish, and they finished today. So I'll be digging into those national averages to see where we compare. But
even just in our local area, because it's the schools are in the market of selling themselves pretty much for the dollar to kids, and if we are providing outstanding numbers, as you're stating, and every time you guys come up here and tell us all these great scores that we're doing, I like, and I think the public would like, well, wow, we have a golden gem here where our teachers and our administration and our teachers are providing above and beyond the local market or anybody else in this area for education.
I can get that for the next board meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. Good stuff going on in Morocco.
Times.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello.
So we are also getting into the NWEA as well. Junior high started at high school, still working on it. Junior high starts the Eisner Checkpoint 2 next week, so we'll be able to see some of that data. We finished the Monopoly, which was great. We're going to start posting some of those pictures, get that stuff out there. The students and staff loved it. PD today, the high school, we started looking at the master schedule for next school year and how it's kind of changing for the new high school diploma. The last meeting I said I would go over some of that, so I do have a couple slides with it. So this is for, Terry, you can hit the next one if you want. The new, so if you are a freshman or younger, this is the diploma that you would have to have. The state has had Core 40 academic honors in general for over 20 years. They decided that they needed to make some changes, mainly because kids are going into the workforce, not knowing what to do, the apathy and all that. So last year they rolled all this out for it. Our comparison of Core 40 to this new diploma, right? This has been kind of all over. So I'm going to kind of explain what it looks like in our building and the classes that we're able to offer. Here, if you want to go to the next one. So our English, they have to have 8 credits, right? 2 credits in English 9 and some type of communication focused, and then 5 additional credits. So 9th grade, you're either taking English 9 or English 9 honors. Then 10th grade, we're going to have it where they have their speech for the semester intertwined with English 10, and then semester 2, English 10. And if you're on honors, you can go on that track. We found that 10th grade has to be at that level with the speech because either kids go on track to get the PNW dual credits that Colo has, or just the regular Core 40 Comp B and so forth. So they're all together still at that 10th grade level with it. So then 11th grade, like I was saying, they take Comp B, Advanced Comp B, and that way then their senior year, they can earn 3 Purdue credits each semester. So they can graduate just from that with English 6 college credits. Or they can take short stories and novels, Comp B and Advanced Comp B, and then speech their senior year. The math kind of stays the same a little bit. They need 7 credits. 2 has to be Algebra 1. The other one is Personal Finance, and then 4 additional credits. So we've been doing that, right? Algebra 1 is 2 semesters. If they took it in 8th grade, then those kids go into Geometry Honors. The big change kind of is in 11th grade. That is when we're going to have students take the Personal Finance class. We're mirroring it with another class into semester, and those kids will just rotate at semester.
And that's a new requirement, is the personal finance.
Correct.
What does the personal finance cover? Does it teach them how to write a check, checkbook?
And taxes, loans, all that.
That's been lacking.
The big thing with 11th grade, which as a math teacher is nice, is Algebra 2 is not required if you're not going into college. We still have other options for it. Our options right now, we're looking at Analytical Algebra 2, which we do offer already, Technical Math, or Business Math. There are other ones. We'll kind of make that decision next year with the math department on it. And then if it's honors, it's still the calculus with dual credit. That's 3 credits for the school year, pre-calc. And then if they have anything, or all the credits, they don't need math their 12th year unless they're planning on enrolling in college. But the big one of not having Algebra 2 is nice because that's a beast of a class. Science, technology, and engineering, they kind of lump those all together, STEM basically. Still have to have biology. 10th grade, ICP, chemistry, or environmental science is what we'll have. Then the 11th grade, the computing foundation, that's what's going to mirror with the personal finance. They have to have that class as well. And so kids in 11th grade will have the digital age, and then the following semester would be personal finance. So like, or vice versa with it. Then they could also have additional the ICP, chemistry, and so forth. The 2 STEM focused ones, Tara, if you go to the next one, these are the courses that we offer that qualify as STEM focused. And so some of the nice ones on it are like the animal science. If a kid doesn't want to take chemistry or ICP, as long as they have principle of ag, they can take the animal science. That counts as their science credit and the STEM requirements that are needing. And then social studies are 2 credits of history, 1 credit of government, and then world perspective is kind of world history. Spanish 3 can count for that we offer, but that's not till 12th grade. And so we preferred the students took world history, still their 10th grade, to kind of get all those core classes done. We do have the dual credit in that as well, history 151 and 152, and that would also provide another 6 credits of dual credit for our students. They do not have to take econ. We highly recommend that they still take econ. And then the other ones that changed, PE is no longer 2 credits, it's 1. And then they have the 1 credit of health, and then the elective PEs. And then they have to have preparing for college and career, and right now we offer that in 8th and 9th grade for it. And then these are the additional credits that they would need, either in the CTE or if they have the fine arts, world languages. But this is what we are offering. Then the next part with it is these readiness seals or graduation pathway. The seals are not mandatory yet and don't have money tied to them yet. I have a feeling in a couple years, once people get used to it, that it'll have money attached to it, and they'll kind of go away from the graduation pathways, but that hasn't been said yet or anything. So we've been looking at them and seeing what we have and what we need with it. It's okay. So the enrollment seals, this is very similar to the academic honors diploma. The 4 world language, 6 social studies credits, so taking Spanish, 8 math credits, and then complete one of the following, earn 6 college credits from the approved dual credit list. So that's where those PNW classes help a lot with those kiddos on there. Or SAT score of 1250. Past 2 years, we've been hovering around like 30% of our students are graduating with the academic honors. And so that seal we can obtain. The employment one, the 3 courses of the CTE pathway we've already been doing. This is the one where, like, we talk about the work-based learning. In order to get this seal, they need 150 hours of work-based learning, either like their junior and senior year. They claim it's flexible. It is a little bit. We struggle with having the personnel to do it. It's a lot of paperwork, going out to the place, dealing with that, and then just having businesses for it as well with it. So we have to like think out of the box and what we can do with some of the stuff in our buildings as well.
So is this something for 150 work hours? Is that for the whole 4 years that they're in there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then is this something that they would be able to do during school hours? Or is this something that they have to do like out of?
No, they can do it during school hours. We have some that do it right now with ag, and they leave after 5th hour, or they come in later with it.
So half day type of ordeal, and they get the credits for it.
Yes.
And you're just looking for businesses that will partner up with the schools to offer those? Because when I went to school way back in the day, I left my senior year for whatever, 2 hours a day, and I went to a grocery store, and then I went to another manufacturing, and I worked and got graded and had classes and all that. Is that what this is?
It is, but there's more strict requirements on it. Like Ron does the ag work-based learning because he's the ag teacher, and those kids are in those pathways. Like he couldn't have a kid that's in culinary because that's their pathway. We'd have to have like the culinary tied to their job with it. So there are entrepreneur ones as well where they like look at 3 different ones throughout the year, and that's what we're kind of been trying to get solidified, and so the kids are able to do it, and just the paperwork, they have to have the plans for it, and submit those, and then the teachers have to follow up on that part as well.
How do we find corporations that are interested in providing those services? Do we actively go out to, let's say, the economic development or North Newton Chamber of Commerce and talk to those businesses and see if they are willing? Because I know for my business, I've taken on kids from both schools and did internships during the summer.
Yeah, March 2nd, we already have a date set with South Newton to bring them in and stuff. And so, and then just explaining all this with them. He had talked to, was it Mike Rowe? Yeah, with that. And so, I talk to Joe often because they're kind of in the same boat with it as well. And then the other one is the enlistment and service. This one we're kind of one course away. I did find that it is available online. I know we have a kiddo who is a junior who is going into the military, so we're going to see if we can work that course into his schedule. They have that, then they take a 31 and the ASVAB, which is pretty obtainable, and then meet the attendance goal of no more than 3 unexcused absences. And the demonstrate skill development communication, that's just this kind of rubric that we go through and check off on it. And then the next ones, I'll kind of go, not super fast because I've been talking for a while, but we've been focusing just on the honor seals. There are honor seals plus. So I think once we get the honors seals solidified, then we can look at the plus, right? So then those are they have to have everything for the honor seals plus one credential value, right? So that could be an associate degree, technical certification, or the Indiana College Core. Plus this one, the enrollment, 75 hours of work-based learning, and then that rubric of the communication collaboration. And then the employment one, they have to have a total of 650 hours of work-based learning. And then they would have either associate. And then the enlistment one, they needed to score higher on the ASVAB, and then have 100 hours of public service. So the last one, if we don't do a seal, this is what we've been doing, box 3, right, honors diploma and our CTE. I want to say probably 60% of our students graduate with box 3 with our CTE programs. So yeah.
Perfect.
Any questions or anything? I know
Is there
that was
any
a
way
lot.
we can, do we have a copy of this yet?
Yeah, because I don't see it. I couldn't.
Okay,
in here.
because I would like to be able to just
Yeah.
look at lab.
And do
a
we
little
post
bit.
that online for our parents and stuff to see
Mhm.
that stuff? All right. And this is taking effect in our next school year, is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
Because the current freshmen are on this one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Oh. Dr. Razor?
I'm going to keep this brief tonight because we have a big evening, but I want to congratulate our schools for their impromptu fundraising that gave us a 2-hour delay due to the national championship game, and we raised, our goal was $2,025 in honor of the 2025 football season that was culminated this past week. But we raised well over $2,500. I'll get a total for us at an upcoming board meeting, but we're still counting deposits as they come in. One thing that I did want to draw a comparison from that I think, you should be able to pick a lesson out of everything. And I think everyone would have thought Indiana winning a football national championship would have been quite improbable. Having a winning record a few years ago might have been improbable. But I think it shows what happens when you put a good system in place and that things can turn around quickly, and that as long as you have the right attitude, the right people, and you run a good system, that you can get results immediately and you don't have to wait for them. And as you know, results are something that is extremely important to me. That's all I'll say for now. You'll hear from me later in the financial meeting.
Thank you. We do have a financial meeting that's going to start at 6:30. So for me, I'm going to hold off on my report. But does anybody else have any board reports before we move on to student spotlight? Because that's our highlight for the night. We good? Tyson? Good? All right. We'll move into the recognition for student spotlight.
A lot of good
Who would like to go
things.
first?
Yeah, it should be. It was in mine. I don't know. Yours in yours? Sure. Can I have my copy back?
Aubriana Coffer is the student I chose for Student of the Month because she is a hard worker, goes above and beyond, and thinks creatively. She challenges herself to do better and is willing to put in the work. She comes up with great ideas to help her practice and do well. One thing she's always excited about is I make them write 1 to 1,000. She's like, in her notebook, she's writing by 2s to 1,000 too. And she's always showing me like, look what I did, look what I did. So I'm like, she keeps practicing and goes above and beyond all the time. So I love that about her. There's your certificate. I think they're going to want a picture of you, okay?
You're stupid. Go behind them. Go behind them. There you go. There. Or just keep.
You won't break the lens, don't worry about it.
Perfect. All right. Good job.
Like we said, we're working on it.
There's one more
Correct.
warning.
All right, so the student I'm recognizing is Oliver Sims. He was nominated by Miss Josie Zacher. She states, "It is a pleasure to recognize Oliver as our Student of the Month. He is an amazing student who stays calm and focused even in challenging situations. Oliver consistently makes respectful choices, follows directions, and approaches his work with a positive attitude. His patience and self-control make him a great role model for others. Keep up the great work, Oliver." Ms. Backer.
What?
I'll do this at the close of the meeting.
Perfect.
So I don't do it.
Congratulations.
But if, there's a lot of really
Oh, yeah.
good stuff on here.
All right. Do we have any teacher spotlights? Nothing?
We don't. I do have one other update, but I could give it at the end of the meeting.
No, we have a
if we
couple
wanted
minutes. Go ahead and do that.
Okay. I have a update on some recent athletic accolades that I think are worthy of recognition. First of all, boys wrestling competed in the Midwest Conference meet on Saturday, January 15th, where Jake Higgins at 120 pounds and Peyton Hanner at 175 pounds were both conference champions.
Woo!
And they're freshmen.
And they are freshmen.
They're freshmen, so very impressive.
Their sectional tournaments began on January 31st at Crown Point. Girls wrestling finished their season on January 2nd at the Ileana Christian Sectional. We finished this year with 10 wrestlers. Annabelle Culberson was the Midwest Conference champion at 120 pounds for the 25-26 seasons.
Woo!
Congratulations, Annabelle. Our boys and girls swim teams competed in the Greater South Shore Conference meet on Saturday, January 10th at Wheeler High School. Both teams took second overall. Our individual conference champs were Delaney Telford in diving, Levi Payne in the 100-meter fly and 100-meter IM, Tyler Crane in the 100-meter breast, the 500 free, it's a new school record, and Tiffany Walsh in the 100 fly, which is also a new school record. Our boys 200-meter medley, relay, and 400 free relay teams were conference champions. Those relays were made up of John Mathis, Tyler Crane, Dominic Hales, and Levi Payne. Congrats, swim team. Junior high girls basketball, wrestling, and swimming and diving are starting this month. Unlike surrounding schools, we will be able to field a 7th grade team and an 8th grade team in girls basketball. Wrestling numbers are currently at 18, which has grown each of the past 3 years. We are still looking for volunteers to work the ticket gate and the concession stand for our home events. And finally, some upcoming dates. We have a doubleheader boys and girls basketball annual cancer game this Friday, January 23rd. Boys and girls swim senior night Tuesday, January 27th. And at the same time, girls basketball senior night Tuesday, January 27th. With the girls basketball sectional at North White on February 3rd through the 7th. And a little bit down the road, boys basketball senior night will be Tuesday, February 24th. That concludes our athletic update.
All right. Well, at this time, I'm going to recess our current board meeting, and we can prepare to open up our other meeting here in a minute for our Board of Finance. So thank you all for coming in.
I want to shout out to a 7th grader who won 3rd place out of our bowling championship. His name is Pete Marcotte.
Nice.
Thank you for
Have a
mentioning
good night. I will call to order the Board of Finance statutory meeting for January 1st, 2026. We've already done our pledge. Can I get a motion on the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Sam, seconded by Tiffany, to approve the agenda as submitted. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. There is no public comment for the Board of Finance. We need a nomination for president and secretary. What we did last year is the finance committee that we had for just the same people. I will make a motion for that, to leave it the same as the Board of Finance.
So you want yourself, Diane, and Melissa to be
Correct.
president and secretary?
Just president and secretary, though, so it won't be me
Yeah, I think,
as an officer.
but it was still the same committee.
So then it would be Michael and Melissa. I'm just clarifying that. For
Correct,
president
it
and
would be
secretary, okay.
President, secretary, I
Okay.
mean, yeah, they can decide on their interim side. I think this committee only meets beginning of the year and at the end of the year.
Okay, so the motion is for Michael to be president and Melissa to be secretary for the board
And
of
Diane to
finance.
be on the committee as well. Yes, that is it.
Okay,
You say you seconded that?
yeah, I will second that.
Sorry, didn't hear. Motion by Michael, seconded by Sam to create the Board of Finance Committee for 2026. Michael Mark as president, Melissa Dyer as secretary, and Diane Gonzi as a committee member. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. Resolution to establish the Board of Finance for 2026 nominations, which we had done. Is there a motion for the resolution? I got it.
Same as what we just did.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that falls in the same thing. Would you concur, Diane, Sam? That falls in the same aisle, just under the action item.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's just,
But the resolution also states, just so people are not confused, that therefore it be resolved that the Board of Trustees of the North Newton School Corporation authorizes the entire Board of Trustees to serve as the Board of Finance for the calendar year of 2026. Officers will serve in the same capacities on both boards, and all Board of Finance business will be conducted within the regular meeting of the School Board of Trustees. So that way no one is confused.
thank you. All right, section B, summary of investments and investment policies. Mike and Patty, you guys have that?
I do.
Okay.
And before I begin, we'll be giving a more thorough, I mentioned this to some board members. We are required to report out for our year-end totals and everything by the end of the month. We're a little premature, obviously, at this point, but statutorily we have to have this meeting right now. But I can give an update on our investment income and where we stand, but do know that we are doing some reconciling and we'll have more accurate numbers during the February meetings. But having said that, we bank with Kentland Community State Bank and DeMott Bank. The interest income for all funds for the calendar year of 2025 totaled $514,593.25. That is a slightly less than last year, but still pretty healthy interest income based upon our balances. And then I will go right into policies if you're okay with that, President Mark.
Yes, sir.
You see the policies in front of you. To greatly summarize them, basically they authorize the treasurer to make investments available of monies in instruments authorized by prevailing state legislature. So to summarize what that says is the state of Indiana makes sure that school corporations that invest their money do it in very stable, safe investment vehicles, similar to a certificate of deposit. Typically is the way those are done. So your money is tied up, but you can get it back out.
Is it the same, just for clarification, maybe you don't know off the top of your head, but maybe you do, you can't invest more money than you need for cash in hand, meaning your budget of operations is X, your investment can't lock your money up in a long-term investment that it doesn't allow you to be able to pay your bills.
Yeah, okay. Your rainy day fund is typically the investment, or portions of your rainy day fund are your big investments. Then you can be in obviously a high interest bearing account that you have to carry a certain balance in that you won't be penalized. You just won't get the interest.
Thank you.
So on one of those policies, because you're on that 6144, the investment income, since we're doing policy, we're going to need to update that says the school board authorizes the superintendent or corporation treasurer, because we no longer have a director of business and finance.
Yeah,
and that's what
the
it
current
states on
policy
there.
says director of business and
We haven't
finance,
got
so.
that, right?
We will clean that up as
Yeah.
our
I know, I've added
ongoing-
it to my list of things that we need to do for
Thank you
policy
for
committee.
catching that one.
Then, if you're okay, I will go right into the financial report on the condition of the school corporation.
Please do.
All right. Preliminarily, we have an ending balance in the education fund of $2,313,862. That is slightly larger than our ending balance last year. One reason for that I'm going to skip down to operations is this past year we did not make a deduction from the education fund to put into the operations fund. You will see that the operations fund beginning balance was quite high, and the ending balance for this year is about a little less than half. One reason for that is we paid a lot of 2024 bills in the beginning of 2025 because they were not paid in 2024. So we had a falsely inflated operations fund to end the year of 2024. And now in this case, a little bit weaker at the beginning of 2025 or the beginning of 2026. But again, also there wasn't what in this case could have been up to $900,000 taken from education, put in operations because we could make it without it. Debt service is setting a little low right now, but that is a fluctuating account and is only set aside to pay our debts that we have. Rainy day fund has not changed with ending balance in it right now, but I will check on the interest income as that applies to that as we give a final report in February.
Thank you.
Final thing I would say, and again, we'll have a better update in February on this, is we want to look at what our cash flow looks like and identify major spend and then how we are evaluating against that, because we are coming to find out at this point that there are many contracts we have not renegotiated in a number of years and are just grandfathering our way through them and could be getting potentially better deals. Although similar to changing your cell phone plan or your internet plan or cable plan, not fun to do, but usually comes out fruitful, and that's one of the things we'll begin to look into in 2026.
Anything on this?
Oh, additionally, just for
Property tax levy, things of
the board and also within the minutes, we have information on our taxes levy, our taxes collected, how well we did on that, as well as the assessed valuation of the corporation for historical period, just for more background knowledge for a true financial picture of the district. And Cinder Dalton did create that.
Thank you.
For us.
For the financial committee, not the board of finance, but the financial committee, I plan on trying to have, as you and I talked, Mike, and I've talked to Patty, the second week in February, starting to fire up our meetings to get those things, to get a better grasp around our finances. Our policy committee has been rocking it with that, so now we've got to try to get the finance committee in line with everything that we're trying to get accomplished and figure out our numbers. We finished out 2025 in our new system. Now we got to reap the benefits of that. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
So anything else on the Board of Finance?
Only other thing is we'll have our count day coming up in February for what our spring enrollment is, that then will determine what our education fund funding, not to sound redundant, the education fund funding will look like for the beginning of 2026.
Okay. Anything else for the Board of Finance? Anybody have anything? Pat, are you good? I will adjourn the meeting for the Board of Finance. Thank you for that. Anybody?
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. All right, I will reopen our regular scheduled meeting. Get my agendas here correct. All right, we are down to non-action items. Before we go into that, I just want to give my board report, go over some of this stuff if I may. Just for the public and so people can pull this back up and put a video later on here. Thank you all again for making me the president. Just the same process for me when I was on the county council's president for the multiple times. I stated publicly then, and I'm stating it now, I will only do this for 1 year. I think everybody that wants to sit in this seat should have the opportunity. It's a challenge and it's also a curse. So you can have fun and learn your job, but for me, I'm doing it for 1 year. Anybody else wants to do it the next cycle, please do so. For me, I did my research on this because it's no different than I think any other elected boards. My responsibility as president. My responsibility is to get the agenda, do all the stuff that we need to coordinate all that stuff, work with the superintendent directly and ensure the board is informed and the public is kept in the loop. This position is no different than any other elected board member. I have no more authority than anybody else on this board. I want to continue organizing and running things as smoothly as possible. My goals are to ensure the transparency of this board to the public and sue on a daily basis and defend this board and the school to the best of my abilities. Part of our goal as a board was to ensure that we had more time to review our agenda items on the board, and especially the public having the time and opportunity. That is why we are now going to ensure that we have our agenda posted and published, hopefully no later than Friday, the week before of our meeting. I want to apologize personally that we were not able to get that. I know that there were some technical difficulties and some scheduling issues, and it was our first time out the gate. But we want to do better for the public and we want to do better for our board members. For me as the president, if any board member wants to add anything to the agenda, it is your right as an elected official. Please reach out to any of the officers and we will ensure, whether you're the only person that wants it on the agenda, it will be on the agenda. You are elected just like us. You have the right to be heard, and you represent your constituents. The officers and myself meet with the superintendent on Monday. We usually do it with our teams meeting to discuss the week's processes and things that are going on, especially the agenda. I appreciate Mike, Sam, and Melissa taking the time to do that. I think it's been very helpful for us. We've scheduled it every week, but we're probably only realistically going to do it the week before the meetings unless something might actually come up with that we discuss. We will then provide information to our board members for informational purposes as our meetings that we've discussed in those meetings to make sure that everybody's kept in the loop. That's my promise as a board president, and I will do my best to honor that. So we have a couple other things to go over that I'll bring up, Regional Water Sewer District and the County Education Board appointment, but that's down further in our agenda. So thank you. Moving on.
Do you mind if I piggyback off that?
Yes, ma'am.
We do, just to be full transparent, every Monday between 7 and 8 a.m. we are on a Teams call as board officers with our superintendent, just so that we're kept in the loop with certain things. But just as Michael had said, it's probably not going to be an every Monday thing. It'll probably be in the Monday, like this coming Monday. That way we are 2 weeks out from our meeting, and with transparency as a whole, you will be seeing on the agenda that there will be several non-action items, including personnel, that are going to be coming up down the line, just so that we do have kind of a rolling agenda. Like whatever is going to need to have action taken on next meeting is going to be on tonight's agenda for non-action. That way, not only us as board members, but every one of our constituents have the ability to see what is coming down the line. It's not like a 2-day heads up notice. That's the goal. Transparency, moving forward, getting into this new rockin' and rollin' system. That way, everybody's got their time to do their due diligence, and if somebody has a concern or wants to say something positive, they know, hey, 2 weeks from now I can come and I can speak on this action item. So that's.
And the agenda with you is set with this in conjunction with the superintendent, correct? Because in everything I've seen, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the officers, myself, and the superintendent. We work on the agenda on that Monday meeting. We try to wrap everything up. any of you, like I just said, have anything that you needed or wanted added to that agenda, because either myself, Melissa, or Sam will send out what we discussed. Please let any of us know. We will add it to the agenda, make sure it gets on there. And our goal, which we all tried to do a year ago, and Tyson and I tried to, but it was just the chaos of the last year, we couldn't get it, was to ensure that we were not getting, like Sam just said, stuff put on us 2 minutes before the board meeting and we walk in here and not knowing what's going on. That did not give our constituents the time to review that. That did not give our board members the time to review anything. And we were making decisions on stuff that we had less than 5 minutes or sometimes half hour. So with what Sam's saying, that's a curveball to our administrators and our staff. You need to make sure that you get your stuff into our administration office in a timely manner so that they can have time to submit that stuff, because we want to be able to be, as Diane said and Sam said, transparent for everybody. And it allows us as elected officials, our superintendent and our administrative office, time to process that stuff. Dumping things on us last minute, it may then just get bumped to the next meeting. We've already talked with the superintendent, which we discussed last year. Obviously, we know that there are emergencies that come up. When emergencies happen, the superintendent he's going to call us. We're going to throw it on the agenda, and it's just what we got to deal with.
Example being like, come July, if we're hiring new teachers or something like that, we're not going to be like, hey, we're going to wait 2 weeks. No, we'll get that.
Or a failing boiler.
Yeah, or a boiler goes out.
Yeah,
or
that kind of stuff.
We got a bust that we need to fix immediately. Those are emergencies, but other things in government should be done in a timely fashion, not last minute, because it makes us, and it gives a bad taste to the constituents that we're just pushing things through and nobody has any clarity or any transparency, because half the time I would show up at a meeting and didn't even know it was on the agenda until I got here. So we are going to ensure that that gets done correctly in the future. I think it's a positive thing. I know we tried to do it for the last year. We had a lot of grace because of the chaos that we've had for the last year of fixing things. Now we are at a new year. So again, I apologize, we did not get it. We had some technical snafus, but we're going to try to get it the Friday before, no later than that, publicly posted, and everybody on the school board has access to it. Again, to my board members, if you have anything that you would like to discuss in public, please let one of the officers know. We will absolutely get it on the agenda, whatever the subject. You got anything else?
No, I'm good.
Perfect, sorry. Mike, you got anything else on that? So you're part of the letter?
No.
All right, perfect. All right, moving on to non-action items, the Unified Handbook. Continuation?
Yes, continuation on Unified Handbook. And then items B through K are first readings of revised policies.
And those are all posted online, I saw.
Yeah, they're all posted online. These are all coming from the policy meeting on January 13th that Diane, Tiffany, and I all sat in with Dr. Mike and Deborah on. A lot of them are going to be verbiage changes. There's no options that go with them. There are some, though, that we ended up sending off a few to our attorney to look at because it had to deal with there's new laws on immigration and stuff like that has come down the line, and we just want to make sure that the policy is aligned with what has been sent over to us with new laws being put into place.
Was there a few that we were sending off for financial too?
Yeah, and
Yes.
I think we've gotten those
Did we get
back.
those
I don't
back?
know if we got them on for this one, but yeah, anything that's financial, we received guidance on from our advisors.
On these numbers, Sam and Diane, on the first readings, it's like a numerical number. Are we almost done because we're under 9,000 numbers, or?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I was like, say the 6144 would fall into that number scheme if you went off of that line. So
Right.
Yeah, some of them are with recency of updating. And one of the other things we're trying to do is intermingle a reasonable digestible amount of them. So some of them are pretty easy to update.
Other thing I have a question on when I was looking at that stuff, because I pull up policies to try to figure out, what's going on. I see a lot of them that say retired. Is there any way to get rid of those off of that stuff? Cause it says
Are you in
retired,
draft mode?
active, I don't know what, I log
You're-
in.
okay,
Is that what
you're
it is?
Rescinded, you
Is
mean?
that what it is?
Rescind, because there's some, like, I just learned this.
Rescinded, I saw.
There's rescinded, there's,
Drafted.
yeah, the draft is like what, as far, if draft comes through and that's the changes that are like Neola saying, hey, this is by law, this is what's coming down the line, and this policy, the wording of it would fit better to coordinate with the law that's coming down. That's the draft mode. When it gets into active mode, that's the one that's currently
Okay.
what we have to follow.
So I'm seeing it because the board members log in, but the
Yes.
public will just
No,
only
they
see the
say
active.
they just see active.
Perfect.
Yes.
Then we're good. I'm just thinking, if I get confused and I'm saying they're looking at, there's 31050s, and I'm like, which one's the one? And then I had to go look at it, and it's small print like this. It literally says active.
Yeah.
And the other one says retired or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So as long as the public's not gonna get
Or
confused by
rescind,
that.
yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
they'll rescind them.
Perfect.
Like there's two on here that first reads that are rescinded policies.
Okay.
There's a big one that's going to be coming down the line that's like 9 pages long that we sent off to, or we're going to be sending off to Lana, our principals, Lucy, and we've actually roped in Mr. Holmes too, because there's a bunch of different, it has to deal with wellness, and there's a bunch of our key players that we need their input to make sure that we're, yeah.
They'll be looking you up too.
Yeah, it's a long one. We looked at that. We're like, yeah, we need their input before we decide this to make sure what's already been said.
And then I'll move on. If you got anything else about those, I'm gonna move on to bus replacement plans. You good with that, Sam?
Yep, I'm
You
good.
got anything? All right. Bus replacement, Dave gonna give this to us, or is Mike gonna give us? So we just, is this the ones we're buying?
Yeah, and this is for information as well, not action. Right now, we have received bids on buses, and we have recommendations that we'll make a formal presentation on at the next meeting for your approval. But we wanted to put on for a non-action item for everyone to look over if any board members would have any questions. The only thing that is very disappointing is trade-in values for used school buses are not extremely high, but we are looking to get the highest.
I have an actual recommendation for that, for you and Dave. The landfill, my son works there, and he says that the employees get on a bus at the bottom and they ride up to their thing. He said the bus is probably from the 80s and it's really beat up. They may
might
be
wanna buy it.
interested, they have 3 of them. They may be interested if we're only getting the $2,000 to buy them for whatever from us, helping out a local business, but I don't know if they're worth that. And, I always think if you can sell them or get them somewhere better than trading them in, because like you said, you get no trade-in value on these things, so.
The one thing too where the reason we would recommend moving forward with this is so we can lock in pricing, and it can take almost 6 months to get a bus after ordering. So it's not like going to the car lot and saying I want that one.
It's actually pretty fast.
Yeah.
2 years for ambulances.
So, but we will bring forward that
Thank you.
at the next meeting as an action item.
Do we know how many buses that we have in our fleet that are not being utilized out of this list? Can we get that by our next meeting?
11, sir.
See, you can
11.
do it right now. I was
I
waiting for you to
didn't
do
know
it
if you
like
was
you
sleeping
could
or
do it
not.
right
Back on.
now.
So you have 11 that are in our fleet that we're not using currently?
Yes, sir.
And we have total how many? He's literally counting the numbers.
We're talking yellow buses and white buses?
Yellow bus.
Yellow buses, 24.
And then the small buses?
6.
Thank you.
I got a question. Dave, are our buses mostly diesel or gas, or what's the combination there?
All of the larger buses, what we call yellow buses, they are all diesels. Mixture between the DT 466 max forces and the Cummins engines in those. All of our activity buses, or as we call them, the white buses, they are all gasoline. 5 of them, excuse me, excuse me for having to count my head here. I've got one of them that is a Ford, but they're all 6 liter engines.
Because they're gas engines.
Yeah, all gas.
The white ones are all gas, okay.
Thank you. Anybody else have any other questions on this? All right, moving on. Additional board committees and resolutions. Mike, you want to go take this one? We have 4 of them, right?
I think I skipped through them.
We missed the 4th one, which is your academic committee, which Diane, we didn't get that added, so we can go over it.
Oh, yeah. We are bringing forward non-action items. Oh, I flipped through off the bus. Struggling with the agenda tonight. We want to establish a board IT committee where we'll also have representatives from IT, obviously, as well as myself and other administrative and maybe people from the teaching ranks. We'd also like to have a public relations committee and, thinking about the best ways we engage with our community and make sure that we're telling our story and not having our story told. Don't think of this as propaganda, but at the same time, many times the only thing that gets into the news are bad news about things that are happening. We want to make sure that the great things that are happening are getting out there. We also want to recommend an athletic committee that is more about kind of setting the standards for what we believe in athletically, as well as helping oversee the athletic handbook and what we expect from coaches, athletes, and what a North Newton athletic program looks like. And finally, an academic committee that helps with special initiatives and also is someone similar that can have insight similar to the finance committee has insight into our budgeting and day-to-day financial operations, a group that also kind of has a greater understanding of the academic efforts that we have moving forward, but then also things like our CTE expansion that we want, as well as the development of preschool.
So for me, on these committees, please, board members, this was put together, most of these committees was when we were doing our
Strategic
planning. Look at the resolutions they have in there with the committees. If you have any recommendations for changes, please let us know. We can modify that before the next meeting. If anybody has any questions or concerns, do you think you need to look at the resolutions, Todd? I can send them to you if you think they're fine.
No,
Okay.
The ones I've looked at real quick look fine to me.
Thank you. So anybody in the board, please take time. The committees kind of break down what their goals and responsibilities are. This would be 3 board members sitting on these committees to get us helping out with the stuff with our school. Anybody else have anything?
I think it's important to note that on all of these, I don't know if it's the same number, that the committee shall be advisory in nature and shall report recommendations to the full board for final action. No committee action shall bind the board or corporation. So it's more sitting in on a collaborative perspective, correct? So I don't want anyone taking this and saying that the board is going to try to now run the school or run your committees or run your things.
No.
That it's just advisory, working collaboratively with you and our goals.
Correct. Mike sits on all of the committees, whether it's the Board of Finance, the Financial Committee, the Policy Committee, these other committees, and I think the one that Tyson, what's up, Nicole? The building one that you and John are
Capital
projects, the catch-all building one. Our superintendent is our 8th person that helps us do this stuff, is on all of these committees, and Diane is correct. All committees, there's only 3 board members. It takes 4. There is nothing binding that they can or can't do. So there's no things that they can do. So it's the same as, in my opinion, the other committees that we're on. It's just getting together, brainstorming, helping out with the pressure of this is a school corporation. It's a lot of stuff. So
if I can say one more thing, one thing I really like about this structure is it keeps the work moving, because any given day there can be what I'll call the fire du jour that pops up that you're dealing with, and all of a sudden, when we have such a small shop as we have, we can go, oh, it's been 4 weeks since we thought about this. But having this regular cadence, and then also having thought partners on the board, as well as our principals that we get involved and our teachers we get involved and directors that we have involved in this work, it keeps the work moving and also helps us move toward our strategic goals.
And also, like in the public relations, bringing out some of the outside stakeholders,
Yeah.
bringing them into that committee and helping move forward some of that stuff. So I think it's a good thing. I think this is a good path for our board to keep things moving forward. And anybody have anything else on that?
It was also discussed to add a safety one, but then when we were going back through policy, it's the safety committee through policy, board members can be included, but that's primarily staff. Like
Instead of doubling it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
instead of
and
doubling
it's
it,
a statutory requirement
Yep.
through policy that we have a safety committee that board members can be a member of. So we're making the recommendation that'll come across that will be checked as an option,
Yep.
and that'll be the board members, the board's representatives on that.
Last thing for me for the board members on this, please, we're going to vote on this next month. If you would like to be on that committee, any of those committees, share the wealth of responsibility, please sign John up for every one of them. So, all right, thank you. Moving down to Adult Edge, another board appointment. Do you want me to take this one, Mike?
Yeah.
I was contacted by the county auditor who handles all county board appointments. And somehow, I guess, for years, North Newton's not had, unless Tiffany or Diane could tell me that you did it in the past, you guys have never filled your board appointment for the Adult Education County Board. The current,
bringing it to us to do.
Yeah, the current members, I told Tyson I would get this to him, but I forgot to get it to him quicker. The current members are Tim Lohr, who used to be the council's. He is now the chairman, and he is a community representative, was appointed. Deb, what's Deb's?
Arsenault.
Yes, she's the vice chairman. She's appointed by the Purdue Extension. Amy Wang is the treasurer, community representative. Mark Emmerich is the Newton County Community Services representative. Dana Boland is the director / teacher. Holly Porter is a appointed community representative. Emily Perigine. She is the South Newton Schools representative, was appointed. Abby Rossiter is the Newton County Commissioners representative, and Matt Walsh is the Newton County Council representative. This can be a school board member. If any of you are interested, let us know. If not, if you guys have any people that, Tyson and I were talking about this, maybe a teacher, I think Mrs. Hines would be a good person we could put on this committee, and she can go to those meetings and go have fun.
I don't know about
But I mean, like Tyson said, having it, it's what Adult Ed, because I was appointed to it years ago, is they try to help benefit our adult people in our community and provide services, training, classes. We buy computers, like Diane says, just stuff that helps our community. I think having one of our representation, whether it's a board member or somebody, maybe even a teacher, on that just benefits our community. And since
well, maybe see if there's any volunteers, since we've talked about it in the next 2 weeks. If there's some, how often do they meet and when do they meet, so that people know that?
Yep, I will get all that information. Okay. I think it's once a month, but Tim Lohr was supposed to get back to it, but he hasn't yet. Okay. Anything else? Questions on that board? Okay. Personnel.
Those are all items O through BB.
O through which one?
BB.
BB. These are all our coaches. So again, back for the transparency stuff and give our board members and the public time. We have, as Sam stated, we are going to put these in our non-action item for the meeting, so everybody has a chance to review, public has a chance to review, and then we vote on these at our next meeting.
Can I make one comment on
yes,
that?
Sir.
The one thing on there that is Barb Blasco has completed her mentorship of Joe Bickham, and that is an extracurricular she was already approved from, but they do not receive their compensation until they complete that mentorship. So that one on there has happened, but also just so the board knows, I checked with Mr. Zachary last week when these were submitted to make sure that there were no pressing coaching issues, and he said these would be fine. to follow our new protocol for the next meeting.
Because for me, I'm only 1/7, but to me, that's an emergency thing. If something comes up and,
Yeah.
and they couldn't find a coach and they need one and the season's starting, I don't want to be, as my 1/7, responsible for holding anything up if it's an emergency.
Correct. I would agree with that. Anything that falls in our emergency criteria, and rely upon the superintendent and our administrators to let us know that ahead of time as fast as possible. So, all right. So those are for public consumption, board consumption. A lot of good people here volunteering. So I'm excited about that and being our coaches. Anything else on that from anybody? All right. And we're in our consent agenda. Remind me, do you have to take a vote on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as is. I will gladly read off the ECA requests if you would like me to.
I would. Motion from Sam,
Second.
seconded by Diane, to approve the consent agenda as submitted. And that is our executive session board minutes from January 7th, 2027, our regular board meeting minutes from January 7th, 2026. We have a field trip request, facility use request, financial claims reports, and the ECA purchase request. All right, let's see. On all the ECA, is this payment for last year's school year? Is that what this is saying? Or are we paying the people that already completed their coaching for this fall sports?
ECA, no, that's
ECA is the equipment.
equipment, like if they needed baseballs for upcoming baseball season. Let me find that though, because I've got like
This they're paying.
that's the personnel. Don't look at that. That's for next time. We just went through that. You're good.
You're good, dude.
Okay, so for equipment purchases, we've got discus, rubber discus, shipping and handling. It's athletics from Sargent Distribution for and a total of $220.90. And then for our donations is next. We're not on that item yet.
All right, on the field trip request, we have a wrestling invite. Looks like for North Miami High School, we have a
SCCLA field trip.
SCCLA State Conference field trip. That sounds fun.
And then facility use form is from Lake Village Summer League.
Awesome. All right. Anybody else? And on the claims, Tyson, do you have any? You see anything in there? Here's pretty good. Payroll looks the same as last month. Now I'm confused. These are phones. You have a phone? It was buried underneath the other report.
You have it, right?
Yeah, I got rid of it. Patty, the $465,000 for insurance, is that our annual payment? And is that for our building insurance or is that our medical insurance for the ES Craft?
It's building insurance.
Is that our annual payment or is there annual?
I remember talking about that last year.
I thought we just did one just like that.
It's been almost a year, so.
Oh yeah, we didn't pay them last year early.
Right.
No, we paid them. That's why I'm so fresh because I remember we just paid. All right.
And just for everybody's knowledge, that is the state insurance cooperative. So, I mean, very, very competitive with everyone that they have in it.
Any other questions or discussions on these? All right, so all those in favor to approve the consent agenda as submitted, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. All right,
Abstain.
Sorry, abstain. All right, moving down to donations, items A, B, and C. Sam, if you could read those off for me, please.
We have donations from our athletic boosters to the high school wrestling, donation toward wrestling tournament travel expenses, cash of $500, donor of Little Spartan basketball to the girls basketball, donation towards camp shirts. It was a check for $495, and then Matt and Amy DeYoung, boys golf, donation of golf team polos, estimated cost of $500.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody that donated.
And I'll make a motion to approve all of the donations, item A, B, and C.
Second.
Now we have a motion to approve the donations A, B, and C as submitted. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you. Moving on to item personnel. Mike, yeah, want to go over any of these?
Yeah, pretty much just routine items, some recommendations for employment for aides and after school care, some movement from probationary to permanent, and then a end of employment.
And none of these are new positions, we're just moving or filling positions that are currently on our salary.
Filling, yeah, within budget.
I'll make a motion to approve the personnel report.
Second.
Motion by Sam, seconded by Diane to approve the personnel report as submitted. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to action items. What do I have at the end? Okay. First item is Regional Water Sewer District. We did receive something, right, Mike?
Yeah, it is in our minutes.
You want to take that and then I'll finish up with that one.
Sure. On January 9th, I received the following letter from Midwest Contract Operations. As you know, the contract between North Newton School Corporation and Midwest Contract Operations dated January 1st, 2025, expired on December 31st, 2025, and since the expiration, Midwest Contract Operations Incorporated has continued to provide services at an at-will basis. That was a 1-week period. The letter shall provide written notice that Midwest Contract Operations is electing to terminate its relationship with North Newton School Corporation and shall cease services for operation and maintenance of the North Newton Schools, water systems at North Newton High School, Lincoln Elementary School, and Lake Village Elementary School, and wastewater treatment systems at Lincoln Elementary and North Newton High School. The termination of the contract shall be effective 30 days from the date of this letter. Midwest Contract Operations will assist with the transition of personnel and is willing to terminate its services earlier if North Newton School Corporation so desires. Sincerely, Nathan Howell, Regional Manager, Indiana.
I'm on the Regional Water and Sewer District Board for the county, and this was brought to our attention at our last meeting in the beginning of January. From what we were told in the meeting is that the MCO who had been providing the services for Northwest Indiana, it's a private sector company, they were closing down their southern port of their operation, which affects North Newton School Corporation and the town of Morocco. So they are looking into obviously terminating our contract with us. At the meeting, the town, I think it was town president of Morocco, she came to the Regional Water Sewer District after she had a meeting with her board about asking if the county's Regional Water Sewer District would take over those services. So we had a discussion in that meeting, and during that conversation, the amounts that Morocco was paying for them maintaining their services was discussed. I had talked to Patty, and I think our services was around 60-some thousand that we were paying contractually to MCO for their years worth of service. The Regional Water Sewer District has their own employees, and it's a government entity. They said that they were interested in helping out the town of Morocco. So for us, I think we need to take action and discuss and decide whether we want to move to discussing with the county's district, or if we want to go find a private sector to do this for us. My personal recommendation is it's going to cost us less in the long run, having the government entity of local people that live in Morocco and in our surrounding areas that actually do this work, because trying to find somebody that is certified in the water level that we need or in the sewer level that we need is very difficult. It's hard to get those certifications, and I think personally that's one of the reasons why MCO is closing their doors, is because on the southern end they lost employees that lived in this area to service us. So my recommendation is, if the board so chooses and votes on sending our superintendent and out of our building, whatever thing was, I sent that off to them, the committee, and said, I recommend that one of them go along to give what the board had decided it wanted to do, whether we wanted to go into negotiations and talk to the county about having them provide our services. Tyson said he was available at that time to be able to do it. It's going to be on the February 4th at 4 o'clock at the government center. Mike said he was going to be able to do that. So that's if this board decides and votes to move forward with asking the county if they would take on our service. I think the chain of events would be, if we decide to vote on this tonight and move forward to asking the county to take on this service, then Tyson and Mr. Razor will go to the meeting, ask the district if they're interested in taking it on. They will take action in their public meeting because they have responsibilities government-wise like we do. Once they vote on it, then it comes back to us saying they're going to do it, but at X amount of dollars. And then we get our attorneys involved to discuss local agreements, and then they can take on our service. That's how I see the plan of action working.
Does that time frame work though? Because didn't it say the end of July or January they were going to be done?
They said within 30 days of our letter, which was on the 9th, which would put us through to February 9th, which would be, pushing us pretty close.
The district,
we have a meeting on the 4th as well, if my memory serves me, so that might be.
Theirs will be first.
Take straight to the board kind of thing.
So is there any way to expedite and still go through all the legal stuff, like whatever the agreement's going to be pretty basic.
What they
there's
recommended.
basic things that they got to cover. So is there any way Todd can go to that meeting? I'm not trying to sign you up for something, Todd, or something that we can expedite this because we're in a time crunch.
No, you're spot on, because they actually talked about that for the town of Morocco. Whoever the president, I can't remember her name. Nikki said for Becky was going to, and we can do that if you guys say that we want to move that and we vote that way. They will send you the MCO agreement that we have, and they said if we can just base it upon, from the district's perspective, whatever the agreement is for the remainder of this year. That's what the district discussed with the town of Morocco, was we'll just take over and maintain their septic systems and water systems, at the same agreement you had with MCO. And then in the next 4 or 5 months, come back to the town of Morocco and come back to our board and say, we can do it better, we can do it cheaper, we can do it this way. Because for me personally, the difference in an MCO or a district, an MCO is a private sector company. They're doing it to make money. Nothing wrong with that. The district is not. The district is a government entity that is controlled by statutes and things of that nature, where their responsibility is to make sure they pay their bond service debt and whatever cost to operate the facilities. They're not charging, and they have to have state involvement in their fee rates and all that kind of stuff. So they're controlled by that.
And so MCO currently already took care of Morocco, so that wasn't one of the ones that was in that contract.
For Morocco directly.
Yes.
Yeah. So
because they took care of the town water, so the agreement that we have, we need to make sure it's spelled out what they're actually doing. Because if they're going to take care of Morocco too, then I'm assuming that would be, the school's going to be rolled up in that, because that's where it sits.
Well, the way they were discussing it was whatever agreement the town had, which they didn't give it to us. The attorneys were, Becky was going to get a hold of Chris Janock, and then we can get Todd to get a hold of Chris, who's the regional Water Sewer District attorney, take the MCO agreement was whatever the schools was and fine tune it and say, we'll, continue the same resolution at 76,000, but the town is going to be separate in that whatever they vote on or however they do that. That's why when you look at this, our water and sewer is not an issue for the school of Morocco because we actually fall under the town of Morocco's water and sewer. But Lincoln and Lake Village and the high school, they all have either their own mound system, or at Lincoln, we actually have a septic and well. So all those by state need to be tested and all this other fun stuff like we talked before. So yeah, that's the full thing. So if we could send you the MCO stuff and maybe get you in contact if this board so decides to do this, then you can work out that stuff before, like Diane says, the meeting on the 4th, and if we can finalize everything.
Meeting's on February 4th?
February 4th.
Okay. And I've worked with Christian on some other things.
Theirs at 4 and then ours is at 6. So.
The other thing too, and I've got a meeting actually, Mr. Hills and I have a meeting in the morning with Randy Decker, who's been working for MCO, is I will find out when their last day that they'll, because technically we have them through the 9th of February. Mm-hmm. We could get our February testing in, is what I'm thinking. And then so we're not so under the gun.
Right. Okay.
Bang, bang has to happen. But
And I'm assuming if it come to punch to where we were in a pinch, like you're saying, Diane, that if the board and the regional water sewer district all came to an amendable agreement, they would probably take over our
just do a
testing.
one-off.
Yeah, just get it done. Because at our last meeting, we were discussing about what it's going to take to handle the town of Morocco's responsibilities and then our responsibilities. The manpower wasn't the biggest issue, it's the testing. The county built a nice testing facility, we just don't have anybody to do the testing. So now we're looking from the district's perspective of getting somebody to start doing our testing if we're going to do town of Morocco and Fair Oaks and everywhere else that we currently do, so. Any other ideas, questions? You will be able to make that, Tyson, you think so? Thank you very much. Any other board member want to go, that's fine, as long as it's not 4 of us, you're more than welcome. It's going to be at 4 o'clock.
Government Center?
Yes, ma'am, Government Center. She goes enough to the Government Center every time I walk over, she's in there for a meeting. Mike, you got any questions on that? Well, I will make a motion that the board moves to discussions with the Newton County Regional Water Sewer District to ask them if they would be interested in taking on the responsibility and working out details to bring back to the board for our February meeting so that we can make a decision based upon what the Regional Water Sewer District offers us at their public meeting.
I will second that.
John's looking at me shaking his head. I'm like, Diane didn't probe you for the second.
No, I didn't. I wasn't fast enough.
I moved away.
All right, motion for Michael, seconded by Sam to approve the North Newton School Corporation to discuss with the Newton County Regional Water Sewer District about taking over the services for our school districts. Currently, our superintendent, Mr. Razor, and our Tyson Bridgman will be attending. Any of the board members are welcome. And then they will come back to us at our January meeting and we can vote on what they.
February 9th.
I'm sorry, February 4th meeting. And,
February 4th.
And finish it up from there. Any other questions, discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. Excellent. We have the standard uniform conflict of interest statements for Diane and one for Mr. Bridgman Tyson. Those are just something that we do on an annual basis because of stuff that we've had in the past.
Because everyone knows my spouse works for the school, so I have to do that by state statute, and I've always filled it out and turned it in.
Perfect.
You used to have to, yeah.
Tyson, you got yours, so I'll make a motion to approve Diane and Tyson's uniform conflict of interest as submitted.
I'll second it.
Thanks, John. Motion by Michael, seconded by John to approve the uniform conflict of interest statements for Diane Gonzi and for Tyson Bridgman Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. Newton County Library Board seat appointment, I think this was from previous meetings, we just didn't get that finalized, correct, Mike?
Yep.
We've already made our recommendations, correct? Somebody, did we already vote on this?
It was an information item.
I was gonna say, I wasn't
Or
at
not
that
action.
meeting, but
This is the one that Deb Miller is currently our appointment, and there is only, they get 2 terms or 3 terms, and then they can't go past that, so. Okay. Anybody have any recommendations for that board, or want to make a motion for who they would like to appoint to the library board?
we already talked about Debbie, so.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll make a motion for Debbie.
I'll second.
Motion by Tiffany, seconded by Tyson, to appoint Debbie Miller,
I think she was on phone.
who is our current appointment for the Newton County Library Board seat, and direct the superintendent to send off the letter that we've appointed that person. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. Excellent, thank you. Now we have the second reading for our policies, Echo, Fox, Golf, Hotel, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, India, we got one on the back, sorry. Do you ladies have anything to add on those, or are we good to go?
No, I'll make a motion to approve items E, F, G, H, and I. They are all based on a little bit of language corrections and technical corrections for revised
I will
policies.
second that. All right, Sam, motion from Sam, seconded by Michael, to approve the second reading of our policies of policy number 5511, policy number 5517.01, policy 6116, policy 6230, policy 7310. Is there any discussions on the second reading policies for the board? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Public comment. This is where I ask, right?
Yes, this is when Annie's the only one saying.
Annie, would you want to come up and give your floor is yours? Good evening.
Good evening. And nobody can guess why I'm here. I'm here because I was here 6 months ago, and they were talking about a longevity raise and plan, but here we are. I know it was brought up at meet and discuss because the teachers, even though I'm not part of the bargaining contract, they thought it was important. I emailed Dr. Razor last week about a meeting. I did not get any response. Custodians have since gotten compensation. We still have got nothing. And this week, Ms. Funston called me into her office because we've hired a new Title I person. And hey, could you just show them the ropes and get them trained? And you can do that, but you're really not important enough for a raise, is the way I look at it. So I'm back again, year after year, and we're going nowhere. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else to wrap for the board? Do I have anything else on here? I think that's it, right? Any other board members have anything on that side?
Move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn from Diane, is there a second? Second. Seconded by John. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion adjourned.